Okay, we are in Taos Ski Valley this morning. We're about to climb or hike Wheeler Peak, which is the highest point in New Mexico, 13,167 feet, about an 8.4 mile round trip hike. We've got a few other hikers ahead of us, it looks like, from the parking lot. We just met a couple hikers who are getting ready to head up with their dogs, Jack and Franco, so maybe we'll see them on the trail. It's about 15 miles from Arroyo Seco, where I'm staying. Took about 15 miles drive to get up here. The last, 2 to 3 miles, dirt road, very steep, no guardrails. You know, typical sort of mountain thing. Be a tough sled in the winter, I would think. So we're at about 10,000 feet. We're going to 13,167 feet. We've got roughly 3,000 feet elevation gain over the 4.2 mile hike up. So not the highest peak that we've ever hiked, but certainly gonna be challenging. Got our work cut out for us, especially once we get above tree line. This is called the Williams Lake Trail. So it goes to Williams Lake, which is 2.2 mile hike, and then you follow the same trail. You go up 2 more miles to get up to Wheeler Peak. So temperature dropped in the 15 miles. We went from a mid 50s to now we're just right at 40 degrees. So it's quite a bit cooler up here. We've bundled up and we're ready to go. We'll see you on the trail. So Taos Ski Valley, as the name suggests, is a big ski area. So we're coming up on the ski lift here. Not running, of course, so we're gonna have to get up the mountain the hard way, it looks like. Fair amount of activity up here, even though it's summertime. Quite a few houses, really nice houses, appear to be probably seasonal, although I think the peak season would be ski season in the winter. Quite a few downed trees as well. Not sure if that's just snow and avalanche damage, exactly what that is, but saw quite a few on the drive up here, and you can see some on the hike. Beautiful start. We got some waterfalls, and it's pretty much a steep climb the whole way. We just got started, but we're feeling it a little bit already, so it'll be a challenging day. We're about 1.5 miles in up the trail. We've come up about 900 feet in elevation gain, so about a third of the way. We still see quite a bit of debris, and looks like some sort of rock slide here. So a lot of debris lower on the trail with lots and lots of trees down. There's a sign posted that said there was a big wind storm back in December. I didn't see some downfall still up here. So that must have been quite a windstorm to knock down as many trees as it did. We've seen a few people on the trail this morning. I think we've come by about 5 people, and I'm sure there are more people on up ahead, so we'll just keep going. Feeling good so far? Well, the views are starting to open up now. We're just about the tree line, 11,600 feet, so we're about halfway on our elevation gain, and sledding's getting tougher. Certainly tougher to breathe the higher up you get, but the views getting much better. Kind of coming out of the forest now and see some of the surrounding peaks. We're getting some views of Williams Lake now. I thought this trail would go right by the lake, but it actually forked off to the left and kept going uphill versus what looked like a pretty flat path to get to the lake. So we may skirt closer to the lake on our way down, depending on how we feel, but that's what it looks like from above. We're at about 12,000 feet, 8.5 miles in, so we have roughly 700 more feet to climb and about a half mile to do it in. So that's a pretty tough stretch yet to go. Hard to around 12,000 feet, gets really tough, a lot tougher to breathe, I've found, and I feel like I'm going really, really slow, a step and a breath almost at a time. But we're making it. We'll get there. Stay with us. Okay, we're at 12,900 feet. We've got 200 feet of elevation gain to go. That looks like that's got to be the summit there. 0.3 of a mile according to AllTrails. So this last tough stretch here, and then hopefully we'll be standing on top. Almost there. Okay, we've made it. Miller Peak, 13,161 feet, and really windy up here. Wind whipping around. Pretty cold. Really hard to maintain your balance at times because of the wind. So we're just about back down to tree line now. We're about a mile from the summit. We're 3 hours into the hike. We reached the summit in 2 hours and 5 minutes. Spent about 20 minutes up top and then have been hiking down. A little bit slow going, coming down at first because it's mainly just rock and it's hard to come down there without breaking an ankle or tripping and falling, which I've already done once today. That's tripping and falling, not breaking an ankle, thankfully. But no harm. At the top, I'm sure it was tough to pick up anything I said, so I tried not to say much. The wind up there just really fierce today. Somebody said 45 miles an hour. I think that's a little light. It felt a lot stronger than that to me, but whatever it was really hard to keep your balance that last 0.3 of a mile as you walked the ridge up to the summit. Just really blowing you around a lot and very cold as a result. It was probably just about now before I've warmed up. Hands, aren't tingling anymore. So got to the summit, had the summit to myself for a few minutes, and then was quickly joined by a couple other hikers who were not far behind me, and then a couple more right after that. So by the time I left, there were, I think, 6 or 7 of us up there. Not sure if I was the first one up there or not. There wasn't anyone that passed me on the trail this morning, but there could have been some folks that got an earlier start. There's some other peaks. You could keep going on that trail and hit some other peaks if you were so inclined. In fact, there were a couple folks up there at the top who were planning to do that, walk another what looked like pretty narrow ridge line to get to another summit. It wasn't for me today. Too much wind, really blowing you around, and just cold up there. So it feels a lot better here. We're back. We can see the lake again. We've got probably a little less than 3 miles to go here on the hike down, or right at about 3 miles. So we're in good shape, feeling good. The last 0.3 of a mile actually wasn't that tough in terms of elevation. We were pretty much there already, but really tough in terms of just maintaining your balance because the wind was whipping you around so much. But it feels a lot better down here, and we'll see you at the bottom. Okay, we took the short little spur trail, maybe 0.2 of a mile, 1/4 mile, no more than that, to get to the lake, and probably more of a pond than a lake, but nonetheless, it's called Williams Lake, so we'll give it its due. Warmer down here. You're getting some good sunshine now. We're at about 11,100 feet, about 2 miles to go to get to the trailhead back to the car. Steady stream of folks coming up the trail now. This morning heading up to the peak. I only saw 7 people, 7 other people going up, but dozens coming down, just a steady stream in those 2 miles that I've come down the peak so far, and I expect probably the same as I finish out the hike. Good hike. We're certainly to the easy part now, much easier heading down than going up. Looks like a good place to shed a few layers and grab a snack before we finish out the hike. So we've made it to the bottom, back to the trailhead, and what do you know? Ski lift's running now up to the high country. That would have been a much easier way to get up there. We got some kind of event going on here this afternoon. We got some folks dressed up in, I don't know, what is that, lederhosen? Not really sure what to make of that. But at any rate, very good hike. We've got all trails clocking in at right about 8.6, 8.7 miles. And let's see if we can get a Fitbit says we're at about 23,000 steps. So good start to the day. It's just now about noon here, and we've already knocked out our steps, knocked out a good strong hike. I guess we're not actually completely to the trailhead. I see the sign up there, so that's going to make it probably closer to 8.8 miles. So we did do the detour of the to the lake, so 8.4 miles to the peak and probably 0.4 miles altogether in the detour to and from the lake. We're clocking in at just about 4.5 hours for the total hike. We had about 30 minutes of non-hiking time, both at the summit and then at the lake. So all told, about a 4-hour hike. Pretty good start to the day. And now I think we've earned some ice cream. So we're gonna go down to Taos Cow and try out their ice cream and follow that up with some football. So thanks for watching. Have a good day.